everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're brand new, welcome. I'm super glad to have you here. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be a comparison video. So I will be comparing my two new favorite pairs of boots, the Stuart Weitzman Highland boot in black suede and the Stuart Weitzman 50/50 boot in black Napa leather. I have done a full review on both of these boots that has model shots, discusses my feelings about them, shows you them from a bunch of different angles, and all that jazz. I will link those down below, and I'm going to try to make this one short and not really repeat any of that information. So I will just be showing you comparisons, giving you some measurements, things like that in this one, in hopes of trying to keep it short. I'm usually pretty bad about that. I usually ramble, so I'm going to try my best. And in order to get there as soon as possible, let's get started. Okay, so let's first start with the sizes. So I bought the Highland boots in a size 5, and I bought the 50/50 boots first in a size 5, which is what's in my video, but then I traded those in for a 5.5. And by traded, I mean I am selling the 5s and I bought a pair of 5.5. So if you are a 5 and you want those in that size, then let me know, contact me about that. I just recently, right after I put that video up, went to a Stuart Weitzman and tried these Highland boots on in a 5.5. I talked in that video about it was very tight around my toes on my left foot, but it was very tight and supportive around my ankle. The 5.5 was way too big on my ankle and quite roomy in the toes. So, you know, more roomy than I would sort of need. So I think that I made the right decision with the 5. I'm not looking for the 5.5 in these. The sales associate did suggest that I might want to try a 5 wide, then it would be a little bit more comfortable around my toes. But she wasn't sure if the ankle would be as tight or if it would be slightly looser, and I did really like the sort of tightness around my ankle and the support that it gave in this size. So I think I'm going to give this size, keep this size, and then, you know, maybe it'll stretch out a little bit, or I'll just kind of get used to wearing it at that size. So I did buy these in 2 different sizes. I did originally have these in a 5. They did fit, but they were a little bit too tight. I wanted to be able to wear them with socks, so I got these in a 5.5. So that size-wise is different. The next thing I want to show you is the heels. So, well, I'll show you the bottom of the boots first. So you can see they're two, well, this one's got some green stuff in it. I don't know what that is. They are 2 totally different heels, and the bottom of the boot is different. The designs around the bottom of the boot are quite different, and even the designs of the heel. So they look entirely different on the bottom, and they are completely different boots. They're both by Stuart Weitzman. They're both sort of the classic soles, and I think they are both rubber soles in that sense. This one is made in Spain, and this one also made in Spain. So they were both made in Spain, and you can see how much bigger the 50/50 looks, even though it is a half size bigger, but it's because of the shape and the heel, of course. These are really more of a flat boot. In fact, this heel is 1 inch, and this heel, holding it kind of funny, sorry, this heel is 3.5 inches. So that is something to keep in mind. They are both block heels. Obviously, this one is really quite blocky, and this one is, you know, a more typical high heel block. So that is that measurement. So the full height of this boot is 25.5 inches. 3.5 inches of that is the heel. So from the bottom of the actual, where your heel would be, a footbed, to the top of the boot is 22 inches. So it is sort of the average height, and I did want to say that it depends on the shoe size that you get. So if you get a higher shoe size, it's likely that this shaft part will be taller. They kind of assume that if you have smaller feet, you are shorter, which is not always how it works in my case. Especially, I'm an average height, lower average height, 5'4", for a woman, but I have small feet. I wear a size 5.5 typically in Stuart Weitzman. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is the height will be different, and usually the height that they display and the measurements that they provide are usually for around a 7 or an 8, something that's considered a more average size. So I did want to give the measurements in the smaller sizes so that you could see the difference in that. But so you can think of the shaft height of this as being 22. For this one, the back of the heel back of the top of the calf, I guess, on the other side of the knee, and then the part that goes over the knee are different heights, and this even slopes. So from here all the way to the total bottom of the shoe is 19 inches. Again, this is an inch. So from where the bottom of your footbed goes to the back of your knee is going to be 18 inches. And then all the way up to this part is 19 and a half at the tallest part. And that is also including the heel. So wait, sorry, no. This is 18, not including the heel, and this is 19 and a half, not including the heel. So that is how high these go. So the last measurement I want to give you is the bottom of the shoe at the widest part of the footbed. So for these, it is 2 3/4 inches. A lot of people like a 3-inch width, so that is something to keep in mind. It is 2 3/4, so it is meant to be sleek and tight around the toe and around all of the toe box and into the rest of the foot. Keep that in mind. You may want to go with a wide if that is not wide enough for you. Whereas these, and of course these are flat, your foot is shaped differently when you're wearing them. You know, you put your pressure in different parts. And a flat shoe, people tend to like an even more wide shoe, especially if you want to wear socks. I don't tend to wear socks with heels, so that's something to keep in mind. But this one is 3 1/2, so 3/4 of an inch wider, and these are not, neither of these are the wide, they're the regular width. So that is something to keep in mind with those for sure. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about with the comparing is obviously when I would wear them. I wear these for more formal occasions when I would wear heels and I want something over the knee. I prefer this with a dress, whereas if I'm going on just a casual running errands and I'm wearing jeans, I like these better. They're more comfortable to walk around for longer because they're not the heels, and I find that this Napa leather is so incredibly comfortable. It's really form-fitting and it's really soft and luxurious and wonderful with that. And if it gets salt on it, I do live in a snowy climate, it easily wipes off. Whereas suede is a little bit more difficult to take care of. This is the suede, and of course this is a stretch suede, so it's so comfortable. Both of them are incredibly comfortable and soft boots that still provide structure but are just really wonderful and make your legs look great. So I definitely recommend both and absolutely adore both. But suede is harder to keep care of, so I get more worried wearing these than I do with these, and so I tend to wear these more because I have less occasions where I want to wear these, but these are really special to wear when I have an occasion that is nice to wear. But you can even see the difference between these boots, right? They're totally different. This, almost the part that goes up right almost below the knee, is in line with the back of the knee in this one. So they definitely fit differently. These do not fully cover my knees, so I really don't like to wear these with dresses. I really only like to wear these with pants so that it's not stopping in the middle of my knee. You just see the top of my knee. I don't prefer that. So with dresses, for sure this, and something more casual, I prefer these. As for which is tighter on the legs, both of them are pretty much the same. These gape a little bit right at the tippy top on the back of my knee, basically, the back of my calf. And these are sort of fit just kind of like a glove all the way up, but then they do slouch a little bit above the knee. So both of them can be a little loose at the very top if you think about it in that way. But these look more form-fitting all around my leg. These also form-fit to my calf, but both are likely to sort of gather around the ankle sometimes. But in general, they both fit really well, and both would fit a variety of leg shapes because they are soft and they do stretch. They're malleable in that way. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover is just the shape of the toe. So the 50-50 is really more of a round toe. It's sometimes described as an almond toe, but I find it much more round, and I find this a much more almond shape. So you can see the front of the boot. They're both very pretty the way that they frame the leg and the foot, the ankle, I guess you could say, but the toe boxes are completely different shapes, and they definitely, this is more sleek on your foot. It makes your foot look smaller, and it's prettier on your foot. These are more casual. They still look nice. They're not pointed toes, so they're not elongating your foot in any way. and the round looks nice, but it is a very different shape. So I would call this one almond and I would call this one round, though I have heard people refer to this as an almond toe as well. I hope that that was helpful. It was just a quick review. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you want me to cover anything else that I might have missed, please just let me know. I recommend them both. I love them both for entirely different reasons. They are great for very different occasions, and they're different levels of comfort in that way, depending on if you can wear heels and you can walk in heels for a long time. You might be more comfortable in those. I do like the way that my legs look more in the Highland boots than I do in the 50/50s, though I really still love those, and I think they're wonderful boots. I like them more than any of my boots that just go up to knee-high level. I like that over-the-knee height and look, even though it is not going fully over the knee in the 50/50 boots. But I hope that's helpful. I hope that that helps you determine maybe the sizes that you want. You can see the model shots in the other videos if you want to see them on your leg. But depending on what you're looking for, I mean, I suggest getting both if that's something that you want. But just figure out your lifestyle. What do you want them for? When are you going to wear them? And then what material you want based on that, because you can buy both of these in the Napa leather or in the suede. So I chose to do suede for the more formal, over the knee occasion kind of boots, and I chose to do the Napa leather for the casual, but you may want to switch that, or you may want to get both in one kind if that works better for you. But I hope that that gives you some information and that you can use that to your advantage to decide which ones you want. If you have either, please let me know which you prefer, and if you have both, tell me which one you love and why. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see future videos, and leave a comment below with anything that you want to say, or even to just say hi. Thanks so much again. Have a great day. Bye.